everyone, welcome back to our kitchen. My kitchen is a mess. I have been gone all evening and morning and it's been really crazy busy. Lots of fun busy, but crazy busy. But today is a special day, so we are going to make a special treat for who?
Lucky's birthday today.
It's Lucky's birthday, so we are gonna make some dog treats today. I know Lucky is just a dog, but he's also a very important part of our family. He came into our family 8 years ago after we suffered our first miscarriage. He is actually a stray that we brought over from Morocco, so we don't know exactly what day he was born, but we picked this day so it would always be a day of celebration rather than a day of sadness. This dog has been with us through births of other babies, some long stints of bed rest, and today we celebrate him with a new bandana and some dog treats. Okay, Ambry, are you going to be my helper today? Okay, what's the first thing we need to do?
Clean the kitchen.
Oh, we do need to clean the kitchen. But actually, we need to turn on the oven. You want to start the oven for us?
How do you?
Good girl. Okay, now it already says 350 and we need 350, so you can just push the plate.
We need peanut butter and milk.
I was going to help you. And peanut butter.
And oats. Now we need baking powder.
Egg. And we need flour. You want to get the flour? Can you put in 1 cup of peanut butter? No, Dee Dee. Dee Dee, bring the peanut butter for Ambry, please.
Can you?
All right. I should also tell you that the peanut butter we are using is completely natural peanut butter. It is only peanuts. There's no salt added or sugar or anything, and that's important in this recipe. And while she's working on that, maybe we can add in the 3/4 cups of milk. You're gonna eat some? All right. Did you hit yourself? You have peanut butter on your face. What? You have peanut butter makeup.
Let's do it.
Now you need an egg. What happened here? It's all right. We got it. I know we're going to use the 1/2 cup measuring cup to measure out 2 cups of flour. So how many of these do we need? This is 1/2. 2 will make 1 cup.
4.
We need 4. Okay, so here you go. 1.
Dump it in.
You want to dump it in?
Yeah. Dump it.
Not with your finger, honey. Just dump it in.
Come here.
Okay, 1 more. So if you have whole wheat flour, that's probably better to use in this particular recipe, but we only have white, so we're going to use white. And now we're going to add the oats. How much oats do we need, Ambry?
We need one of 3
Which is called
of
a third. Yeah. Grab a 3rd cup.
Can I do it? I also have and we didn't have. Thank you. I do it by myself.
We need 1 tablespoon of baking powder.
Now we're going to mix it.
This recipe does have the option of adding little bacon pieces to it, but we're not doing that today because these will be plenty loved enough. Now we need to get our table clean so we can get our little cookie treats made.
We're going to make the cookie part.
All right.
Like when we make. Hello, well today I'm going to show you how to make a dog bandana. You need some fabric, a fabric marker, a measuring tape, a big rotary cutter. First, you're going to take your fabric, lay it out all the way. Make sure where you're planning to cut is on the rotary cutter board. Turn it around and use this corner. Use this corner. You take your measuring tape on the inches side. Well, before you actually do this, you should measure your dog's neck and add 3 or 4 inches so that you can tie it in the back. But since I already made one, I'm going to make another one, so I know how long it needs to be. Our dog was 20 inches long, and then we added 3 inches, and it was 23 inches long, and then when we cut it, it ended up to be 24 inches long. And even then, it was hard to tie, so maybe you could add 5 inches more. So right now, I'm just gonna go with 25. As you see here, I've got my fabric laid out. I'm gonna use this fabric. I'm going to measure 22 inches, 25 inches. So now that it's on 25, we're gonna take our fabric marker. What am I gonna just make a mark so I can see it when I cut. I'll come back and show you what it looks like when it's finished. When you cut it, you can use rotary cutters. But since I'm not that good at using rotary cutters, I'm just gonna use my shears. And beginners should use shears too. So I've done a bit of it now, but I'm just gonna show you what I'm doing when I cut. As you can see, the lines, when I cut, I make sure that I cut from where I'm cutting at to the lines. Now that I have finished cutting, I should have a piece that looks like this. I'm actually not done cutting. Don't need one of these, you need 2 of them. So what I'm gonna do is go to a different corner, line it up, make lines, and cut it out. If you want, instead of making lines, you could pin it on and cut it out. But it's easier to just make lines and then cut it out. Now that that's done, I took the other one off, and like I did last time, I'm going to use my shears to cut it. Now I'm going to take the piece that I already cut out and lay it edge to edge on a different corner. So now that I have it laid out, I'm going to take my fabric marker and draw the lines. I'm going to take these and I'm going to lay them. The bottom is facing your table and the inside is facing up. Then I'm going to take the other one and I'm going to put the nice side facing down and I'm going to match it up. Now that it's matched up, I'm going to take my pins and I'm going to pin 2 far apart from each other for the hole that we're going to inside it out. And then I'm going to pin the corners. Now that's done and I'm going to sew it. When I sew it, I start from the beginning of where my hole is going to. Now I put the foot down and I'm going to sew and then back stitch. Then I'll just sew the rest. Now that I'm done, I'm going to back stitch and then just sew right next to the pin. Now I took the pins out. Now I'm going to cut these edges because when you flip it inside and then sew the fancy stitch around, it's like a bump, so we don't want that to happen. When you trim the edges, you need to be careful that you don't cut your seam. I finished trimming the edges and I'm going to flip it inside out. When you do it, usually you don't like when your edges are more flat than pointed. You could use a bamboo point turner to point it out and make it more pointy, or shears. But if you use shears, you have to make sure you don't push as hard so that you don't get a hole in your bandana. Now we're gonna sew a fancy stitch around the edge. I'm thinking about doing number 8. So I'll push this button and turn it to 8. When you invisible stitch, you need to make sure, when you don't invisible stitch, you need to make sure that the edges are folded in when you sew it. I'm going to start at the beginning of the hole and sew around. That's it, we're done.
Did you get a bandana? Did Nisa make you a bandana?